Good evening, Facebook friends. Baxter Cribbs here with you once again this evening. I want to welcome you to Facebook Live. Little different this evening. I wanted to do this before I went off to meet with the people at the congregation that I worship at, but time snuck up on me, so I didn't get to do it. As you'll notice, a little strange title on the lesson, on the description tonight, the title of it, and that is How to Tie a Tie. And I'll get to doing that for you in just a moment here. But the reason I want to do this is because I want to lead into something else. But on my top of my page, at my header, if you will, up there, it says, be the type of person that you would like to meet. And that's, I look for those things. And one of those things that when I like to meet somebody or do meet somebody, the one thing that stands out to me is their spirituality. And that's something that I believe is a part that you need in your life to be able to have complete fulfillment. And I think we all search for that, some type of a God to worship in our life. And I think that there is the only one God. And if you'd like to find out more about what I actually believe on those things, you can go over to another page that I do a few videos on and that I am an administrator of, and that is the Church of Christ. You look there, just type that in, look, and you'll see my picture there in my blue shirt and my tie, and that'll be the one you'll find me at with some videos and stuff like that. But the reason I wanted to show us this evening, one, is that many people do not know how to tie a tie. And as I said, I wanted to do this before I went to church because I was going off to meet with the people of the congregation, and getting ready is something that, when I used to cut hair, that I would have people would come by, husband and wife, and they would come in the salon and see me wearing a tie, and they would want me to either tie the tie for them or teach them how to tie the tie. And so we would have a tying class right there. So I thought I would do that while I talk to you a moment or two as well about a couple of things about why I wear a tie and jacket and so forth to the congregation when I go. But let me do this before we get too far away, in case some of you just want to see how to tie a tie, and then we'll get into that. So, and you notice here that I have my shirts unbuttoned, even though I have a very big shirt. I wear a 17.5, sometimes an 18 shirt. And the reason I do that is because when you button that top button, and this is why many men will not wear, they dress up more, is because, oh, this chokes me. And in my years of doing this, which is probably almost 50 years, 40 years, I'd say 40 years, that I found that when your shirt collar is too little and you button it, you're choking, which stands to reason. So I go for bigger shirts, bigger neck in there, and then I use my tie to cover up the things here, okay? First thing is, you got a short end. I'm presuming that everybody knows how to put that under their collar, and some people want to make it and then take it off and hang it up and put it back on the next time and just slide it up and they're done. And that's fine too if you want to do that as well. And so the knot that I'll teach tonight will be a double Windsor knot, okay? And I'll show you, and that's why I use that, because there's other knots you can tie that will be a very slender, small knot up here. And if if that's your preference, then that's great. I just wanted to show us what I do. And so, like I said, you have a short and a long, and you want to measure this out. And sometimes you have to retie it a couple of times because your length doesn't come out right. I asked a Marine person one time, where is the tie supposed to end once you get done with it? And he said 1 inch above the belt buckle. Now, I like mine to touch the belt buckle, be right at it, so forth. It depends on, what you like. Because I don't think there's a hard and fast rule. You're just trying to look better, dress up as you go wherever you might be going. So, and as you'll notice also, doing this on this phone, this is going to be backwards now from what you would do. If you're right-handed, the long piece is going to be in your right hand, okay? And if you're left-handed, then it'll be in your other hand, because that's the way you'll start. But the idea, okay, is take the short piece, and you want to run the long piece over the short piece like a cross. You want to hold on to that. And I'm going to and then you're just basically tucking this long piece. Let me turn the little thing right. Tuck it back through that opening. It's right there by your collar. Pull the whole thing all the way through. A lot of times I'll use my mouth, but I'm trying not to here. Pull it through, and then you want to tighten that, pull that down, kind of neat and flat right there on that side. Then you grab a hold to it this way. You're going to run it over to the other side and tuck it in. So you're going under it and then back through the hole. Hold on to it before you can reach around. Pull it all the way through the hole like so. So now you have that knot, that loop on both sides of this piece going around your neck here. And that's going to make it bigger right here. And that's the purpose of me doing that. And the double Windsor knot as well. So you got it straight and neat. Put your finger in the middle, because now you're going to loop this all the way over again, completely over. Pull it back through and stick it down in that hole where your finger's at. You're going to hold onto it, slide that all the way through, real neat. Straighten it up a little bit right there. You can look down at it. Straighten that up real good. Maybe I can get a little closer. It might help. I don't know. So now you see I have a kind of a big knot there. You get a hold to the little piece underside. Once you get that kind of snug like you want it, you can push that up and adjust it to right there. See, my shirt is not too tight on my neck. I have plenty of room in there, but it looks like my shirt is still buttoned. Now, the next thing that I would do, and I'm no dressing person as in knows what all the rules are for sure, but now you got these two little pieces hanging down. Sometimes on the back of your tie, there's a little piece here like this open. If that's long enough left over, stick it in that hole so it don't flop around. If it's not long enough, because ties are different lengths, people are different lengths, you tie differently and so forth, okay? If it's not long enough, stick it in that right there behind you lift up your thing and stick it in between that button, the first two buttons right there, and pull it down, and that way it's hid. But whenever you do flip it over, if it goes in that hole right there, another little trick, people use a tie pin, they call it a clasp or whatever, to go onto your tie to hold it in your shirt, so if you go out to eat or whatever, your tie's not flopping everywhere or blowing in the wind and that kind of thing. I always just simply put that in that little loop like that when I can, and then I take a simple safety pin. So this is the poor man's tie clasp. Instead of punching a hole in your tie and losing the back of it off like women do their earrings and it falls off and you never see it, and then if you got an expensive one, the piece falls out in the front and you don't notice it till it's too late. I take that little safety pin, pinch up my shirt right down there, right where it's supposed to fit at, and stick that through it, behind it, so that it's not seen, and then I cover it back up, make everything look all neat again, and there I can breathe, and you look professional, you look like wherever you're going, whether it's out to eat, whether it's going to church, you're dressed up and you're not choking to death, and you are, I don't want to say use the word presentable, but you are presentable. It depends on where you're going. Now, that leads me into a little lesson tonight, because as I said, I think that you need to develop spirituality. And so I always do this when I go to meet with the people at the congregation. And I usually have a dress jacket that I put over it, a sports dress coat thing. So, to me, you ask the question, well, does God really care how you dress? Well, yes, He does to a degree. In other words, He tells us we need to be dressed modestly wherever you go. Modesty is the thing. Now, there's different levels of people, what they determine what is modest. So, for me, when I go and I've read in the history of what God says about His people, whenever He tells them, He tells His priest, if you go to the Old Testament and read there, He told them how to dress. Here's what you make, here's how you make it, this is what's to be on it. And they were priests at that time to come in before Him to offer the sacrifices for the people. when they walked up on the old altar. He told them, you make underwear for yourself, so when you go up on the altar, nobody will see your butt. And they did all that, and that went on and on. And so now, even in the New Testament, when we have Jesus as still as our King and our Savior and so forth, that he still says dress modest. And to me, the idea it carries over because he says you are a holy priesthood today as well. So we are presenting ourselves out to people. And to me, the idea still is, can I teach somebody about Jesus Christ if I'm wearing a regular work shirt? Most certainly. Can I teach him if I don't wear a tie to church? Most certainly. I don't think it's a sin if you do or if you don't. I just think for me, it is a respect thing. Okay? Whenever people come in to get an interview with me to go to work with me in my day job, if they come in in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and a pair of flip-flops, I automatically discount that. He didn't come prepared for the business at hand. His first impression doesn't stick with me. If you go and you meet, I'm going to just use this example because I am a male, you want to go and impress a woman to say, can I have a date? Can we go out? Can we do this? And you come out there in a t-shirt and ragged holes, is that really a good first impression on them? Are you really respecting that woman that you're going to take out or ask out with you? And that's the same thing I think now. If we would do these things for people that we are in front of, then when we go down to worship God and to praise him and all those things that we do as a group at one time that he asked us to do. And he says you are to fear me, which means give him respect, give him reverence. That's what he's asking for. To me, this is one way that I do it. I very seldom, if I am caught from work where I go down, then I might be in my work shirt, but it still is like this. I don't have a tie on, but it's still collared, full-length arms. That's what I wear. And if it's very dirty and ugly, I'll see if I can't find a way to make some kind of change before I go. And that's why I said I don't think it's sin, but I think it's respect for the people that are there, and I think it's respect for God, and so this is what I do, and I think that's what we should do. And I'll go a little further. That a copywriter that I read, he taught about how you should have personal growth, business growth that comes at the same time. Nick Usborne, very, very great, famous copywriter. He said that his partner, whenever he would go to get on the phone to close a deal, to talk with somebody, that the man got dressed up. So the dressing up part of it made him feel like they were in a business meeting, and he carried himself as such. And so the environment then became part of his life. And so I think that's what we should do as well. When you're going to worship the Most High Being, wouldn't you want to be at, and I don't want to say your best because then you'd be wearing the same thing all the time, but you want to give an effort to show respect, that you love and you respect and you're going to do what he asks. And to me, this is the way that I do it. But anyway, if you'd like to find out more of what I really believe in that regard, go to Church of Christ on the Facebook page and you'll see my picture there. That'll be the one to go to, where I do a few videos and some different things like that. But I wanted to bring that to us this evening. That's just part of who I am and why I believe these things. And so if you found this of value, my friends, tying to tie might be all you found in value in it, but I hope you found more than that. But if you did, leave some comments below. Share it if you like with other people. I really would appreciate that. There might be other people that really do need this, because this is something you can transfer not only to your regular life, but to your business life and to your spiritual life as well. My friends, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night now.